It upside down, you're turning me. You're giving love and spinning it. Round and round, you're turning me. Hey, everybody, welcome. I don't know how many people are on live right now, but I wanted to come on here really quick. I just finished Stranger Things Season 5, Part 1. So it's episodes 1 through 4. Hamper John, Sam Benson, welcome. I wanted to come on here really quick to do to talk really quickly about what I think is going to happen with Vecna, Henry 1, whatever he's called, by the end of season 5. I was just on TikTok live just a few minutes ago, and I ended that. But one of the things I wanted to bring up is, and again, I'm going to talk about spoilers here. If you haven't seen season 5, I would click away right now if you do not want to be spoiled. Because I'm talking about the ending part. I'm partially talking about the ending of season 5. And one of the things, so I'm telling you guys, if you don't want to hear it, you got to leave right now. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So for those of you that have seen the ending of the ending of the mid part of the season, episode 4 of season 5, Will Byers levels up and receives powers. We find out that he has superpowers now. He's always been known as the sorcerer of the group, and his powers are similar to that of Vecna's, where he is able to psychically stop, at least from the scene that we saw, he's able to psychically stop the demigorgons. And what's interesting is I believe that Will and 11, not just 11, but Will this time, are going to be teaming up to help take down Vecna. And I believe that one of the things that might have to happen, because they can't just destroy Henry physically. They have to find a way to weaken him somehow. And I think the fact that Holly and Max are in his mind or in his memories gives, I think, them an advantage. I think it gives them an advantage in order to, because, okay, so this is my theory. So Max and Holly are in his mind. Okay, so they're in his memories. There was that scene where Henry wouldn't go into the part of his memories where Max was hiding. Okay, so you have him or you have her, you have both of those characters, Max and Holly, in there together. They don't know how to escape. I do feel that it's going to be easier than we think it is for them to escape. But with them, and with also with them in the mind, and with 11 and Will having powers themselves, I think they're going to be able to help take down. I think they're going to be able to help take him down in the psychic, and maybe like the power and psychic sense. But then everybody else is going to have to play a role too. So it's not just going to be 11 and Will and Max and Holly. I do think that everybody's going to have to play a part. And one of the examples that I gave in my TikTok live, and also when I was doing the reading in there as well, what came up is that Vecna is just going to go full force and he's not going to stop. And, people are obviously going to be unalived. It's not going to be a pretty sight. But I gave an example. I give 2 examples, actually, one from Avatar: The Last Airbender and another from Harry Potter, on how I feel this is going to, what happened in these 2 series with, in certain scenes, some of them completely random, I think relate back to what's going to happen with Vecna at the end of season 5. So basically what I believe is going to happen, is going to have to happen, because they can't just take him down physically. They can't just take him down. Um, he's almost like it feels like he's unstoppable at this point, but he does have his weaknesses. And I feel like if they can find the different weaknesses, and I mean like the different points in this guy's energy, they're going to be able to take him down pretty easily. So it made me think of Avatar: The Last Airbender, where you had Aang, Katara, Sokka, Toph, um, and this specific scene took place in season 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. There was a scene in one of the episodes where Azula, being Princess of the Fire Nation, her friends Ty Lee and May had this drill that they were using to drill through the wall of Ba Sing Se, which was the protected Earth Kingdom that most of the people, a lot of people lived in that city, away from the war and everything that was going on in that show. What happened was they were drilling through the wall because they wanted to get through, right? And the drill seemed like it was unstoppable. They couldn't just stop it with their bending the elements and everything. But what they discovered is that that drill itself had several weak points on it, or it had several points that if they targeted those points, it would render that machinery useless. But not only vulnerable, but like if they hit the right points, it would render it useless. So they all did their part, and it took all of them to exploit the weak parts of that drill and be able to damage and destroy different parts of it so that the whole entire structure buckled and fell. And that's what they did. And so that's on one hand. On the other hand, you have a movie like Harry Potter, where at the very end of book 7 and the movies, the end of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, we know that through the Half-Blood Prince, Part 1 of Deathly Hallows and Part 2, if you watch the movies, we understand that Harry Potter and Dumbledore, informed Harry about the Horcruxes. Essentially, when Voldemort had unalived people, he used dark magic to take bits and pieces of his soul that he had torn apart and put it into these objects, therefore making those objects very dark, objects, and very cursed and dark objects. So but anyways, he hid pieces of his soul so that he could become immortal. It was a way to become immortal, right? Therefore making him unstoppable, right? But Dumbledore figured out that, if you destroy each of these Horcruxes, you weaken Voldemort and you can unalive him and destroy him that way. So what Harry had essentially done is he went and discovered all the Horcruxes and destroyed them. And each time he destroyed Voldemort, I think Voldemort felt that, and he ended up, weakened. And on that last battle, and then of course, the last battle of Hogwarts, during that time when they were doing, the wizard duel. See, I've got my little wand right here. When they were going like, zzz, like they were fighting, going zzz, with the wand, and Harry finally disarmed him, and Voldemort was like, like that, and then he was able to and then with his wand, like going to, well, he didn't use a Vada Kedavra, he just did a power surge, and then that essentially cremated by air. He air cremated him through, the power surge in his wand, and that destroyed Voldemort, and he was unalive. So that's what I think is going to have to happen with Henry, or Vecna, or whatever you call him. I believe that there's going to have to be some sort of like takedown of him on all sides. I feel like that's inevitable, and I do feel like the Mind Flayer, we don't know much about how the Mind Flayer is At least I haven't seen the stage play, so I feel like there's more there that was revealed that I don't know about, um, that has to do with the Upside Down and the spiders and the Mind Flayer and all that stuff. I do feel like that is going to be a place, a place or an object or whatever that creature is going to have to be targeted because I do feel like it plays a big role in making Henry what he is today, which is this god awful monster, right? But it looks like he's not gonna, it seems like he's not going to be. It makes, I mean, they're making it seem like he's hard to destroy, which he is, and everything. They just, I think, like I said, what I think is going to happen is that because Max and Holly are in the mind, I think they're going to be able to exploit some part of that, some whatever weaknesses he has in his memories and make him vulnerable somehow before they escape themselves out of his mind. I think 11 and Will are going to target him psychically, or at least with their powers, and or at least they're going to give the last blast and everything, and meaning they're probably going to destroy his physical body through psychic means. And I do feel like every one of the other characters is going to have to play a role in their own way. We don't know what that role is going to be, but I do feel like they're all going to come at him from different sides, from different aspects. His memories are going to target his mind, they're going to target his powers, they're going to target his physical body. And once one of those things gets damaged, the whole entire structure of Vecna, of Henry, is going to it's going to buckle. That's my prediction. So that's all I have for tonight. So that's what I'm saying. That's my theory there. That's my intuitive feeling of what's going to happen. So, yep, I will see you guys in probably tomorrow. Yeah, everyone have a lovely evening, and until next time, take care.